Yeah, and I don't think that Jin Air is looking to experience any turbulence here tonight. As we are about to jump into the pick ban, I am so relieved to know that I don't have to worry about Silas.
Nope, no worries. No worries there. We're smooth sailing right now. I'm going to have a commentator on my desk for the entire broadcast, I hope, because yesterday took it a little bit out of my voice, so I'm going to need a bit of 50-50 here.
Right.
Can't do the 100% this time around. I'm sorry, my friend. Okay, Galio going to be the first ban here as Jin Air respond with the Vladimir, mostly aimed at Tal, who has been able to hard carry more times than not, honestly, for his team. Even on the Yorick into the Fiora matchup, when the Fiora was wielded by Noguri, it wasn't until 40 minutes into that game, approximately, that the Yorick was actually eventually outscaled. So, really impressive top lane performance so far here from Tal. Lissandra going to be banned away. Second up here from Hanwha Life Esports. Up against Grace. Going to be denying him some of that utility, but not necessarily one of those let's ban out the entire champion pool of fly type situations like we saw last night. Yep. Grace certainly having a lot more of an effective champion pool as the Callista going to be taken away.
We'll have to see what the last ban for Jin Air will end up being, if they'll allow Ezreal to slip through the cracks or not. Rise now.
Wow, now 4 gigantic picks still available. The Ezreal, like you mentioned, the Jace still there, as well as Zoe and LeBlanc both up. This could be a big deal. LCK meta certainly has developed into, if you ban the LeBlanc, someone's going to ban the Zoe, even if that matchup is relatively a skill matchup, sort of developed in a really interesting way, as the Jace is going to be the decision here. From Jin Air, Tal gives a bit of a shout out to his namesake in the Trundle.
Garen.
Oh, just do it, man.
Just lock it in.
Is there anything, is there a more ballsy lock-in than Garen first lock-in?
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's probably one of the biggest statements that you can make.
What about Annie? Just lock it in.
Hey,
Snap
at least
it.
Annie's a flex pick. Oh, okay,
You ever
sorry.
want to see a lobby disconnect?
Immediately, we drop out of the lobby. Oh, we made a mistake. I'm sorry. Well, LeBlanc is going to be the choice here. And actually like it. Lava likes the LeBlanc side of the matchup. We saw his LeBlanc was some of the best that we've seen thus far until we saw Faker perform all of those incredible plays in a couple of their most recent series. Jin Air having some fun also, but that's going to be C's taking away the Olaf. Definitely feels like a pick away from Bono, but C's has been getting work done in the early game as well.
Is there something I'm missing here with Garen hovers?
Garen is the only champion to not be played in the LCK, apart from Nico.
Okay.
Nico and Garen, the only 2 champions to have never been played in the LCK, ever.
Oh, you mean historic? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, someone needs to eventually lock it in as Olaf and Zoe now for Jin Air Green Wings.
It has to be Faker that plays the Garen. Just has to be. He plays Predator Faker and solo queue in the mid lane there. Oh, I want it so bad.
And he's just overpowered. That's really
so strong.
The true problem here. Now, will Hanwha just lock in the Ezreal Tom Kench? They do have that available. If they don't end up... Now, the Lee Sin is very interesting to me, and the reason for that is because the jungle pool hasn't been touched at all inside of the bans, which means that it's still wide open. So they're locking in the Lee Sin as a relatively good champion against the Zoe, but if you don't take Ezreal here, Jin Air Green Wings can get their hands on the Ezreal Zoe, which is a duo dynamic that we've seen many times piloted to success in the LCK. Ezreal is now locked in. Jin Air can probably just respond with an AD carry now of their own.
I think it's interesting that they went for the Ezreal instead of the Tahm Kench here, because we know that Sangyun is very flexible with his AD carry choices that play with the Tahm Kench on the bottom side, and Key is very, very good at it. But they are going to prioritize denying the Ezreal Zoe combination, like you say. Can hop, skip around these team fights. It does make sort of that 4-1 poke style just very, very easy to navigate in the mid game. So not going to happen this time around, and I actually really like the mid-game power spike of both the Ezreal and the LeBlanc here. Does feel a little bit like where the Zoe's going to be strong as well. I mean, I feel like you build Luden's Echo, Oblivion Orb, Sork Boots, and you're feeling great no matter which champion you are. That's why this matchup feels like it happens every time. And Jin Air are going to say, you're not going to get that Toadfish.
It's a catfish.
Toadfish. Because he looks a bit like a toad, so I like to just mix catfish and toad together.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right?
All right, no.
Okay, I apologize. Catfish. I'm going to go with catfish.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's been benched, so not going to happen. The Braum was the follow-up here.
Tristana now being banned away, and that's a champion that definitely had a bit of success yesterday.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. Teddy having some pretty incredible performances. I remember one of the team fights I was feeling really awful about because I was following Khan on his great escape on an Aatrox, and then little do I know that the Tristana just jumps forward and instantly murders a Kai'Sa. Absolutely incredible stuff. Go back and watch that series, everyone. Just go back and watch it. We're not going to talk about the result. Just watch it. Not now, after this series, of course.
Shen now banned away by Jin Air. Hanwha Life trying to imagine what other 80 carry you would want to pinch away. Maybe Lucian just ends up getting hit, so not to give away Lucian Braum.
Well, is Sivir actually going to be prioritized? So leaving the Lucian available, and Lucian Braum is the option here for Root and Nova.
I think that at this point, you probably just end up having to lock in Lucian. There's not another ADC outside of maybe Kai'Sa that you would want to go with, but I think that Lucian...
I think Jinx works as well, potentially, if they want to have a hyper carry, but Lucian is just a no-brainer, right?
Yeah. Hanwha Life now having to respond. Twisted Fate being hovered. Okay, Garen, once more.
Yep, we're just going to go through some weird stuff first before Sangyu decides to lock in something real. This also not real, guys. It's going to be a blind top lane, and we'll see where Tal actually wants to go, because the top lane has only really been Ryze and Jace, and Vladimir, I guess. To be banned away, and it is going to be the blind Yorick here from Tal. And I'm glad I mentioned it, because Linderong is certainly in a composition right now that a Fiora would look really nice in.
You know, a lot of people say Fiora, but I truthfully don't
You're a Jax
think...
boy, aren't you? You're a Jax boy.
I don't think that there is a bigger counter to Yorick outside of Vladimir than Jax. There's just simply nothing that Yorick can do during the laning phase, which is something that Fiora...
Oh
baby.
My God,
that's my
it is
face right now.
Not only is it Bard for the second time here in the LCK of 2019, but also it's Keys Bard.
Yeah,
he's
like the Bard.
This is like if Tal locked in Trundle right now. That's how iconic this pick is. I'm so excited.
Do you know Key's first name?
Bard?
Yep.
Is it Brad? His name's Brad Key?
Yeah.
You just misspelled Bradley a little bit. Okay, it's going to be the Aurelia, though, that Linderung decides to go with. Sort of a halfway house between the Jax and the Fiora.
All right, well, I don't totally understand the Aurelia when Jax is available, because Aurelia is able to be straightened up during the laning phase, at least by the Yorick, and then I am not entirely sure of what ends up happening around the 4-5 item mark, whereas I do know that Jax, with the Spear of Sojin, Trinity Force, and all the other wonderful items he gets, Yorick tends to just lose Julia, and then he tends to just get killed underneath the turret, so that's how that matchup ends up transgressing, but...
Hey, at least, like, the reason why people like the Aurelia matchup is that you can bounce around the ghouls with your Blade Surge pretty easily. You instant kill them with that ability, so that does work out. But we saw Flame attempt this sort of thing with the last pick Aurelia around this 4-1 composition, and I don't know whether I'm that psyched about the old split push Aurelia style rather than the, you know, the Chovy style that we saw. It wasn't necessarily the game winner in that SKT versus Griffin match, but from the mid lane, it feels like it works in more of a true style.
I mean, it wasn't the game winner.
Well, I mean,
it last hit the Nexus.
That is
no
very
spoilers.
Well, you said, I look, man, that was all you. Never mind. I guess the jig's up. Is the statute of limitations like 24 hours? Because that's what I'm going to need. Otherwise, we're going to get flamed. This is bad news. But I really do like this composition. I like the Olaf comp. They do have the ability to get a lot of priority around the early game and get the Aurelia into a decent spot. So let's see how we go. Hanwha Life versus Jin Air Game 1. Okay. Good to hear. A lot of fans here in Lowell Park for Hanwha Life and Jin Air Green Wings. I saw so many Lava fans in the stands, just holding up the Lava signs. Just got a lot of fans.
He does indeed. There's, I think that the cheer for Jin Air was actually a little bit louder than Hanwha Life, which, again, we're talking about...
Everyone's ready to believe.
Yeah.
And remember, like this is the Jin Air Green Wings. This is probably one of the most storied gaming organizations in Korea, right? Like from StarCraft into League of Legends, they've been around for an extraordinarily long time. In fact, was a key sponsor, I believe, for one of the StarCraft tournaments in 2018. Just
Jin Air, I believe, is the last Korean org for StarCraft remaining. I
think so. Because I know, Splice is in there now as far as a lot of the Korean players' sponsorships are concerned. But like you say, not a Korean org. As Jin Air are just going to invade all the way forward here. They do have a Braum, but Seas is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is definitely not the ideal opening that you wanted to have. Now, the red buff is resetting for Bono. But Seas, I think he's just going to go over to his blue. Doesn't actually, he's having a seizure right now. I think that is, he's living up to his name.
He's
he wants the crab.
He's Scuttle starting.
Well,
so Scuttle Rivers is going to go down first up.
You know he has an identical twin?
Really?
On the other side of the river, yeah.
What's their name?
Scuttle Rivers.
Oh, wow. Identical twin and the same names?
Nope. 1T.
Oh, Scootle.
No.
That's how you pronounce that.
The T in Scuttle is one of them.
Nope. I like Scootle. Can we call him Scootle Rivers? Sure. The northern one. Well, in fact, Seas is going to head straight to Scootle Rivers and take him down as well.
Yeah, so
that is going to be the game plan. Yeah.
Double crab start, and he's actually healing up all the way back to full, which is quite nice. He hasn't used any of his potions yet. Curious if he's going to actually look to try to find Bono and get any intel, as Linderong and Grace both have priority right now, so he knows that he's not a danger. Not the best axe thrower. Korea is known for its archery.
Oh, I can't believe that was so funny. I don't know why it was so funny, but it was. Oh, Seas should be able to grab him as he leaves his axe over there. It's like, oh no, I just don't want you anymore. Give me a bow. Where's his jungle Ash? Oh dear, that's a whoopsie. But Linderong actually pushing up at a beautiful time here shows that Jin Air are certainly on the same page. And as the wave pushes back in mid, finally Seas is going to enter his own jungle. As the 3 buff looking like it will ensue unless Seas can get there in time. Trouble Bubble lands, and that is huge, relevant damage here at this stage of the game with both of these junglers running around and trying to get in each other's business.
And Bono's actually wasted a little bit of time. He's going to be getting to his golems a little late, and
He's going to deny his own wall.
What's going on, Atlas? I'm supposed to be the analyst here, but I'm going to need you to break down for me what it is exactly that I'm
This is the dark technology. Seas is bringing out the dark technology where he denies his own camp and makes Bono think, if he actually goes over to that wolf camp, he's like, did I accidentally just kill 2 of the wolves? Was I actually here before? Starts to question his entire reality.
Ooh.
That's my idea.
Okay.
I don't know whether that's true.
Well, he's going to take down Bertha really quickly.
Dark Possession going to come in here, and Linderong is having a decent time as Chain's going to land. Grace is going to immediately cleanse, but might have to flash. No, doesn't. Holds onto it. Very important summoner spell to still have in his arsenal.
And now Linderong being put under pressure, knowing that Lee Sin can path up to the top lane. And you can see that C is not quite in close enough proximity, and so a few of the minions will end up going down. Slight advantage for Thal up in top lane.
Bono's having one of those games where he's not entirely sure whether the enemy jungle are connected to the game, because he's just finding all of his camps available. Seas eventually gets over, does manage to grab both of his buffs and both scuttles, so actually it does work out quite nicely here for Seas. He's even in levels, things are absolutely fine, but just a really odd path to be taken from the Olaf in the early game.
He's even slightly ahead, actually. Because the Zoe's returning to the lane right now, he's just got his red buff. He still has the blue buff duration going on. He's actually going to get priority to the right-hand side Scuttle Crab and potentially even be in a position to take the Raptor camp.
Yeah, triple scuttles.
Yeah, this is really good, actually, for Seas, who started with a really rough opening, but is finding himself right now with some slight advantages.
Yeah, it's like... It's rough, but it's mostly just really unpredictable and really strange, like what he decided to do at the beginning. Because yes, they go for the invade, it doesn't work, but after that, he was free to do whatever the heck he wanted. And he just decided that he was going to go scuttle to scoodle and then proceed to farm out the enemy jungle and leave his entirely full and then get the majority of them anyway. Bono wasn't able to really challenge all that much. I believe he denied the Krug camp on the top side. And look at this, rubber banded Gronk to be picked up by C's.
He hit it this time.
I know, he just needed to come back and prove to us that he could land that ability. Does so.
Not too much is really going to be happening. It doesn't look like either jungle really wants to get aggressive, and they're just content with passively farming it up. And I do have to say that I truthfully do think this is a little bit more beneficial for the Ezreal Bard Yorick than it is on the opposing side. Obviously, Zoe is always a wild card in the later stages of the game, depending on if she can hit a bubble, but Mountain Drake is the first dragon that's alive. It looks like Jin Air will have priority on the right-hand side of the map.
And this is something that I haven't actually needed to think about, but I feel like Zoe is the hard counter to Bard. He puts down a magical journey,
and you just throw the ball right through.
And you throw the bubble right through it, and you're guaranteed to hit no matter what. Because it just travels all the way through the terrain anyway. That's a feels bad.
Is that a feels bad?
Feels bad. Unless it's really long, and you hit them with the Sleepy Trouble bubble, and they're still going through the wall. Because I think you still travel no matter what. Yeah. I don't know. I want to see it happen.
Fall asleep during.
Then I guess you just, I guess a lot of people do that, you know? It's like you're on a plane.
Yeah?
Yeah, you get the bed.
Brad flies first class.
Damn right he does. Well, Lava's going to hop over this wall. Oh, safeguard as well, so no information here for Linderung, who's trying to clear up these minions. Julia comes down. She is in there, but the Aurelia's trying to bounce around, not able to get it done. That's a great dive from Hanwha.
And this was a really perfect timing as well. They're going to be able to get a lot of the plates. They're giving up the Mountain Drake, Songyun.
It's actually a good trade instantly here from Jin Air.
They were very quick and decisive. The real problem here, though, is that Thal is just so far ahead right now in XP. And look at this, he's going to get yet another plate.
I mean, it was even until that, and now he's disgustingly far ahead.
Yeah. Now the wave is also going to push back into him. We can just see the gold difference. It's almost 1,000 here.
Oh my goodness.
In the top lane.
Only one plate remaining. Oh my gosh. That is just... It's bad news, Bears. But Tal, this is what he generally does. On the Yorick, he's really good at navigating early games to get himself gigantic leads. He's done so pretty consistently, but this was a team effort, and it worked pretty damn well here from these guys. Aurelia pretty upset that that W does not mitigate magic damage anymore.
Linderung going to try to stay even in this game as Yorick looks to return up into top lane. And now at this point,
Grace. Chains are going to land. Redemption not going to work out, but does give him some of the health back, and Grace is going to be absolutely fine. Merc Tread's helping him out a lot against the Lost Chapter that Lava rushed into.
Boop. Yep, blue picked up. And we're back into a temporary lull state until something is able to happen. But looking at the minion states across all the lanes, I can't imagine something might happen unless this does.
That's an alt trade for Flash. And Key's going to get the hell out of there. And this is Jin Air understanding that they've hit level 6, and Bard doesn't have a lot of health bar. So if you hit him with enough of that CC, he just dies.
Oh, Atlas, tell me,
yeah, man.
Did you see Captain Marvel?
I did! I really enjoyed it. As Grace didn't enjoy this, however, he's going to be fine. C's going to come on in, the Predator's there, does pick the gap with the axe, but I don't think it's going to matter as Lava just picks up the kill. Feels all too easy, but now Tempered Fate flies forward. I believe that is Lava's clone that's stuck in there with him and gets his cooldowns back. Undertow comes forward, and that's going to just be a pullback. And Lava's going to be okay. Don't know why Grace decided to go back in for that one.
I'm not quite sure either, as now Hanwha Life, they're going to be able to pick up a couple of these plates here in mid, and C is not going to be able to do anything but consume the Raptor camp as he moves into mid to try to get some of the XP. And the trades don't stop.
No, Tal's going to start putting some hurt down onto Linderung. I believe he got himself a few Conqueror procs there, so he's going to be fine. He does have the Ionian over there to keep himself a little bit more topped up, darting around with his Blade Surge, so he's fine.
Take another quick look at this, and Grace sees the Lee Sin, doesn't really matter. Dragon kick to the face. And Grace made it out of the fight. We've seen so far this match, not the best time with the axes, but Grace, he was feeling a little bit bad. He's like, you know what, you guys actually should have had me.
Yeah.
So he came right back in.
Exactly. It's a gimme. It's a mulligan.
Yeah.
He got a mulligan for that last one, as the undertow is going to miss. Wouldn't have killed, but may as well not take the damage. And the ignite is actually still there for Lava, so that would have secured the kill onto Grace. So free summon as well, feels like. Grace sitting on a heal now as Caesar is looking to try and assert his dominance here in the river. And Root throws out yet another culling. Doesn't find too many of the shots there, but that is more like sending a message.
Well, 12 minutes here, and the Rift Herald still has 2 minutes at least on plates. If they can manage to utilize that anywhere, it's looking like it potentially has a timing to be used in mid, as Grace has lost some HP and some mana. 3 plates still remaining.
Yeah, not going to be an easy one to get them out of the way of, but Grace has dealt with the minion wave. That will be okay. Could use a bottom lane to get some of that money, and does have time to walk down there and use it if he wants to, but Bono looking like he might use it on this ward here. Could be a problem, but no. Intelligently going to sweep that one out first.
Is he using it? Nope. Looks like he just hopped over the wall. I think this, truthfully, this would be the timing to utilize it, because you want to convert it into plates. You're not just trying to utilize it to get a turret arbitrarily in the middle stages of the game. If you can at least get 320, 480 gold out of it, then you may as well.
Yeah.
Because there's very few times where a genuine dream scenario occurs where you're able to get multiple turrets off of a Rift Herald. So here they are summoning it.
Oh, just out of range was Grace, but I actually think he would have been okay. Anyway, Key not going to find the Cosmic Binding as Seas is Predatoring forward. Bono trying to follow him there, but they're just looking to try and get rid of Shelly before she gets a lot of work done. Still, that's every plate done in the mid lane, and so much extra gold here for Hanwha.
Why do you think Shelly ramps into turrets?
I don't know.
It's a weird job.
She's a demolishist.
Okay.
A demolition lady. It's just it's a thing to calling.
Alright, Ocean Drake has now gone down. Rift Herald is off the map. Turret plates are about to fall.
Oh, Seas uses his ultimate.
Alright, we're going to talk to chat again in about 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So, nothing's going to happen anymore.
Uh-huh.
We've now entered the true Jinair lull state.
Well,
are you excited?
This is their time to shine, man. I am excited, but it's not actually happening just yet. Good block on the Q. Kickback now onto Seas. Doesn't have the ultimate, so of course that one's going to work. But there's the Vanguard's Edge, and Linderung gets the reset and pops him.
And that was actually a really nice teleport, picking up the kill there onto Bono. Also managed to pick himself up a red buff right there. Jinair, they're still down 3,000 gold. I said that probably just going to have a lull state.
Yeah, trying to get out of the way. That's the flash follow. Nova with the ballsy plays bottom side of the map, and that's a dive that I really liked on Jinair's side.
There's a lot of chaos actually happening around the map right now. Jinair maybe going to be able to pick up the bottom tier 1 turret here.
But look at how proactive this team is being. It's not the Jinair that we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing Malron get some good ganks around his first couple of clears, right? But that's not in this mid-game state. It's not in this part of the game. This is looking really good for this squad.
Yeah, and we take another quick look at this replay. Dragon Kick had to be used onto Olaf right there, but Linderung came in, Vanguard's Edge, managed to just pick up the kill really easy. And then this is something straight out of solo queue. Songyun flashes in a straight direction, ends up getting hit by Nova's ultimate and being picked off. Very uncharacteristic in kills like that.
Yeah, it's also, you know, that's a byproduct of Key not being in the lane as well. We know that Hanwha does like to use Key more as the Songyun protection rather than that roaming support, but of course he's Brad. Brad wants to get around town, you know, that's what he wants to do, collect them meeps.
Is Brad a Chad?
Oh, probably. We need to get that skin, the Brad Bard.
Like a very muscular Brad.
I mean, Bud does have a lot of really amazing skins. So.
Yeah, he does. He has one of the best in the game, which is the one that he's actually using right now.
Because the little penguin meeps!
Yep.
Oh, I want a full zoom on the penguin meeps. Just love it so much. Look at how cute they are!
Tell me about Captain Marvel.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Went and saw it when it was released here in Korea. And it's hard to talk about without, you know, spoilers and things, but... And also without being really topical. Let's just say that I really enjoyed the film.
You didn't like when Batman showed up?
No. I just feel like Marvel and DC shouldn't be interacting like that. It's just confusing.
Some people in chat right now, they're probably really angry. They're like, that's a spoiler. I'm like, they're not from the same universe. Oh, man. I liked the movie, but I think that it... Well, no spoilers.
I know. See what I'm saying, man? It's really hard to talk about. That being said, I absolutely loved Goose. The character Goose in the movie, top-notch. 15 out of 10. Also, young Samuel L. Jackson was very fun.
really well done.
Yeah, it was really cool. And
that's
soundtrack
not a spoiler.
was amazing.
That's
soundtrack
in the trailers. So we got that. I will say... No, I can't even say that. You know, all right, you got me.
I was also impressed with how it was acted, and also the fact that it didn't feel like the classic origin story. You know, it's not like Spider-Man: Homecoming that felt like it was just like, let's make a movie so that we can put this character in a movie now that he's a different actor. You know, that's what that movie felt like to me. I know a lot of people really enjoyed that film, but I felt like it was a little bit too origin story. But that's not what Captain Marvel felt like to me. Tempered Fate is going to land onto Root here. The turret's going to stop working, but that's the ultimate in trade, and the ult not going to do anything really on the side of Key. They're just looking to try and knock down this turret. Shouldn't actually happen. Root able to clear out the minion wave as Lava just explodes the Braum on the back end. He's going to take about half of his health bar, but that's a freebie underneath the turret.
Yeah, and that's a very unfortunate death for Jin Air right now. Is not the problem. They're going to have to give up this bottom tier 1. They're going to have to concede some vision around the right-hand side jungle. And with another Mountain Drake coming up in 20 seconds, this is not the time where you wanted your support to pass away.
Yeah, okay. Well, Trinity Force is now done for Linderung. The Aurelia is going to be more and more scary as this game goes on. Of course, Carl in a great position at the moment, but it's item parity between the top laners. Let's have a look at this one again. This was, of course, after the Tempered Fate was used. And Nova, unfortunately, gets tagged by a Q, and then that's a double distortion in the face. You are not going to survive that.
Yeah, and that's the type of kill that you don't even expect to die in. It's sort of like, okay, I'm safe back here against the LeBlanc.
Yeah.
And then she just distortions forward and something goes really bad. This is a very scary timing for both teams.
Oh, but that's a phenomenal paddle star. Bono now very, very low. And Hanwha Life, because of that, back away. True shot barrage as the Dragon decides to go home for a moment. He's going to dodge the damage. As why is he being so silly? Lava's going to hop on over. I wanted to clear out some vision here, but not going to risk it for the moment.
And in doing so, it looked like Hanwha Life were originally maybe planning to try to contest that Mountain Drake, but then obviously gave it away after Grace's Zoe play leading up to it. In the exchange, though, they did get a top tier 2 economic turret, and so normally that's not a turret that you get to bring down until you have the Baron buff, so it is a slight gold acceleration for the York.
Also, you're going to get more and more map control, and I think having map control against a Zoe composition is paramount, especially when you can then have Lava hiding around in a brush. And look at this. Blue trinkets have to be used just to try and get Jin around their own jungle. And loads of wards now being pinged out by Hanwha. They should be able to pretty comfortably get over here and get that work done, as Grace has to use his own flash to get out of the Tempered Fate. A fantastic ability into the Zoe. I feel like Bard countered a Zoe, Zoe countered a Bard at the same time. Sort of a fun matchup, because you're always going to go back to your portal jump, and therefore the Tempered Fate pretty easy to land.
Now here's something I don't get to talk about really almost all that often, is how Mountain Drake can actually be the worst Drake that you could have at a certain point, and that's when you're really far behind. Which
oh yeah, it does not.
Right now, if you're Jin Air, it doesn't matter if you get bonus true damage. to epic monsters and objectives like turrets if you can't actually get to those things. So even though Jin Air, they have these 2 Mountain Drakes, they won't come online until potentially way later in the game. And so it's just luxury to have them right now, but they're not actually providing any real stats.
Yeah, if they're able to actually get, the catch-up team fight or something like that, it makes the ensuing Baron very, very strong, but without C's having a health bar, that is going to be an issue. Finally got a Black Cleaver now built up by Root. Linderung's able to clear out minions here on the bottom side of the map, but Tal has got item advantage. Still looking for the Hydra to come in from Linderung. There's the kick flash. Grace is going to go into stasis, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough. No flash, no worries for Hanwha Live.
Linderung now down in bottom. Going to have to back away from the turret. As Hanwha Life are now doing a 0-1-4 formation.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable as well.
Hard.
Going to be able to get rid of the second last remaining inner turret mid lane. The only one still standing. 5 turrets to nothing here in favor of Hanwha Live. Feeling pretty elementary as they're just going to siege this. It looks like they don't even need the Baron or anything like that. They're going to break open the base here on the bottom side, and this is the Baron inhibitor available for them if they want it.
Looks like they are not currently interested in fighting, as everyone is looking to possibly just recall and then go towards the Baron while allowing the Yorick to continue his split push reign.
Yeah, Julia could theoretically run it up bot lane as well and try and take down that inhibitor. If you want to, is a possibility if you just untether her.
Julia gets stuff done.
She does. She does. We all know who the real part of this relationship is. It's not Yorick. It's definitely Julia. Grace, yeah, that was a see your death moment. Doesn't actually have Azonia's, so that was a broken stopwatch now for the Zoe.
I am super excited to see if Jin Air are actually going to be able to defend against this Baron. Zoe is the only real chance remaining right now for Jin Air, and that's the wild card that I talked about earlier on, where if she can hit a bubble, then she can just delete one of the entire HP bars of a Hanwha Life member.
Yeah.
Although I will say that Grace's itemization this game, and this has been something that's really off for a lot of pro players around the world. Not really quite sure where he's going with this. There's no magic resistance present on the side of Hanwha Life, so
yeah,
you don't want to void
no
stat.
magic pen.
You have Merc Treads against a team that virtually has no CC against you. If they're on top of you, you have bigger problems in the first place.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe like a Banshee's Veil second has been what we've seen a lot in the past, but that doesn't look like where he's going. See what Grace actually does decide to do with the Blasting Wand and the Amp Tome. He could go for Rile's Crystal Scepter now. That's what he's going to do. Probably not going to though, as Linderung is going to bounce around, kills the Ghoulies. But Julia is going to be much tougher than that. As Nova with the Unbreakable is not going to take damage. Bono not going to follow in. With that Resonating Strike, Hanwha Life now setting themselves up. It's a 1-3-1 scenario here, and a difficult one for Jin Air to navigate around. Vanguard's Edge does come in, as now Linderung's trying to fight against Tal, but look at Julia. She just does so much damage.
So this was the big question mark that I had, and yes, I acknowledge that Yorick is really far ahead, but it does seem like Aurelia is able to be repelled by Yorick and the Maiden, whereas Jax is not at this stage.
Aha, so that's the argument for which one to take.
Yep, I finally get to see it, my conclusion right here. Now, I do acknowledge Yorick is ahead.
By a lot.
By a lot. But I think that a Jax with a Spear of Sojin is able to approach him in a way that this Aurelia simply cannot right now.
Well, Tempest Fate going to be dashed out of there by Root as Grace looking for some paddle stars. Lands one as Magical Journey gets key out of the fight, but that means that he's not going to be available for the ensuing one. So he's going to come on over, and we don't have a broken base just yet. On the side of Jin Air Green Wings, remember, this is the team that is very good at making games go very, very long. And look at Root. Julia's dead, and he gets an extra 50 gold.
Where do you think she goes?
I don't know. She gets, I guess, spawned out of the ground, so maybe somewhere under the ground, where she regenerates, and then Yorick pulls her up, gets his ghoulies to go down and grab her. It's like, can you wake Julia for me, please?
Does he tell them to wake Mom?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. That's what I tell my cat, my girlfriend to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many cats?
2.
Okay.
They're adorable. They're not mine. They're hers. I inherited cats. But I still feel like a cat dad.
Okay.
All right, Root, a little bit far up here. Vision available from Hanwha to know that he is pushing down and could be dangerous, but we know that he's going to be safe.
Right now, not anything really happening, and Hanwha Life seem very content to just keep allowing the game to go at a very slow pace. This is going to give the Aurelia...
Come on, Ghoulie! Come on, Ghoulie! Yeah, got him! See? MVP. You see him go out there and just slapped it? Just slapped it in the face.
He slapped Scuttle Rivers.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Scuttle. Just hits him. That's the Ghoul's voice, by the way.
Is that it?
Yeah. You can go back to the VOD if you guys want to check
Clip
that one
it?
out again. Yeah. I did the voice recording.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't actually get into the final product of your
No.
rework, but at least I did it, you know?
Oh, because StarCraft has it, right? There's like
Voice
voiceover-
packs?
Yeah, voice packs?
Yeah.
LoL doesn't have that, right?
No, I don't think so.
They ever?
Not yet. Wait, that might not be true. I remember there was, I think, talks about it and stuff like that, but... And you can certainly...
Gave them another idea.
Yeah, let's sell them. All right, let's go. We wanted to make the Aussie one.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was back in Australia, I wanted to make the Aussie voice pack and change all of the names and stuff like that. They're really, really good. You can actually find it. There's a post about it somewhere. But
Like
I
that.
reckon we should make one because we've really got to change all the names. Like get Bertha in there, you know.
Yes.
You got Scuttle Rivers, you got Shelly
Rivers.
Rivers, you got Julia and Julian. You know, like I feel like there's a lot that needs to be changed. And also, I know that everyone would be really excited to guarantee that Aatrox is always Aatrox every single time. You know, I think that's going to be really, really important to a lot of people because I get a lot of comments saying you've really got to tell LS to keep saying Aatrox because they just love it so much. Man.
I know they do.
They do.
And that's why I keep doing it.
You know, I get DMs. I get DMs of people saying, just make him stop. Make him stop. Like, is it really impacting your viewing experience that much? He doesn't say it that often.
Yeah. Well, when he's on my screen, you know?
Yeah. Or even when he's not in the game.
I've never
like now.
I've never heard, you know. I mean, how ridiculous it is that they're complaining about a champion's name.
I know. They should go to Oshak Hennessy's office, I reckon. They got something to answer for, and so does Root, who's going to try and dash out of the way. He stays alive for the moment, and that's Bono going down. A good exhaust onto Root, but it's not going to get the kill. Flash does come out. C's going to go down as finally Hanwha turn up to the fight. And by Hanwha, I mean Tal. The Yorick is so damn big. Even lands the Morning Mist as now Linderung down to about half health. Great. Does have himself a counterfeit flash, but he isn't able to hit enough of the spells. And now Yorick's going to go back to his lane and say, I'm sick of cleaning up after you boys as the flash is used. And Grace is going to get to safety. All right, Linderung going to come forward. He does have a reset available for Linderung, but not going to follow just yet through the magical journey. Had to respect the Yorick.
And Jin Green Wings, they're keeping themselves alive inside of these team fights for what looks like should other be a pretty one-sided victory for Hanwha Life. We're going to take a look at how this whole fight transpires initially. Root getting kicked into Songyun and Ki, but just didn't quite have the damage to bring him down immediately. And you can see Lava tries to go in there, ends up doing absolutely nothing. Thal arrives for the fight, and that was when it looked like it was going to be entirely over. But then
Absolutely.
after this,
I think that was almost solo won by Nova right there. His Unbreakable to stop the Q from landing on the Lucian from Bono with the Unbreakable as well, so he stayed alive for a little bit longer. Absolutely beautiful stuff there from the Braum, and this was Linderung once again cleaning up. So the Aurelia is now sitting on 2-1-1 and getting scarier as this game goes on. Very close to having GA as well as Sterix and the Tiamat on top of the Triforce.
and we're almost getting to a point where the gold advantage doesn't really matter. Another key point to note was that Lava lost some of the Magi stacks during that fight, and so...
I mean, that's basically a wasted slot there now.
Yeah, that's almost 1,500 gold gone.
Yeah.
So you can almost subtract that from the very top of the gold difference.
And also, that gold difference was 8K about 10 minutes ago. Jin Air are doing the Jin Air thing, where they're just hanging on. And it feels like
Just
I'm
another
alive.
Gandalf.
Yeah, they're... Oh, is this third night
This
of the
might be
fourth
it.
day? Is this where Irma is going to come and save? What is it? Where's the place? Dang it! It's been a long time since I watched the Two Towers.
You're on the spot.
Yeah, where do they go? Helm's Deep. Come on,
Helm's
Max.
Deep.
You're a Tolkien nerd. How did you forget Helm's Deep? My brain's in League of Legends mode. I'm sorry, man. I don't have my.
All right, it's
Lord of
looking
the
like
Rings.
Helm's Deep. There's 2 turrets remaining.
Yeah.
Inhibitor turrets, so...
Sound the horn.
Yeah.
Need to get Gimli up there, man. Who's the Gimli? I guess it's C's. Doing a lot of drinking.
Yeah, he
Seems
looks
like a
he
dwarven move.
looks like a dwarf. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
a beard like a dwarf.
Yeah, there we go.
You know.
Nova
quite
can
nice.
be Boromir, even though Boromir wasn't at the Battle of Helm's Deep. Spoiler.
All right.
I like it. There are a few similarities that we can get to here.
Is Root Legolas?
Yeah, he's got an elven vibe. I can
All
feel
right.
that. I can feel that. I mean, it's clutching a little, but you gotta make do with what you've got. Jin gonna try and pilot this Lord of the Rings-esque composition to a comeback victory here, and it's going to be really tough. 7-6 is the kill line. I mean, that's nothing to worry about. They do have the most valuable dragons if they are able to get to objectives, and a couple of Ocean Drakes are not a couple of Infernals. So that is a good news story here for Jin Air, wanting to keep their win streak alive, their win streak of 1 game. 1 match, might I add.
I think that Jin Air, they come from the future. They,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they want you to know that their win streak, they're not getting relegated. Atlas, okay? They're making it out of 10th and 9th.
Is that really, is that what's happening?
That's what's going to happen.
I feel like
It's going to
Baron's
start
going
here
to
with
happen.
the Baron steal.
All right, so C's going to get on over. I mean, Cosmic Binding didn't land. Lava's now trying to get in here. No Ragnarok to be used just yet as the Baron is going to get stopped. True Shot Barrage denied. It's going to be the ultimate to come down. C's not going to get out of the way of that one, but that's a late Q coming in from Bono. And C's in a whole host of trouble. But this is actually dangerous because Jin Air have a lot of control, but not around this Yorick. The Dark Procession is in. Linderon going to keep himself alive for a few moments. Hanwha back on the Baron. This is what happens when you've got such a gigantic top laner. The 4-1 is almost donating. Hanwha life, this Baron buff. Tal is so incredibly big. Lava lands the chain. Nova tries to get over. They do get a ward into
almost
this
has
pit.
flash.
This is still going to be a 50-50 if they can wait for that flash to be up. It's a couple of seconds.
They don't know.
They back away. Oh my god.
This is one of the main problems with not timing summoners exactly.
They may not have seen that actually go down. That was a nice twitch from Nova there as well. Shout out to Marta yesterday for his bottom side of the map.
Jin Air is back in this game. How excited are you right now?
Oh, I'm losing my mind. You actually, you do not understand because this is still 8,000 gold. We could be here for another 60 minutes.
You want to talk about Avengers Endgame?
Oh, there we go.
This is it.
Yep. You know, I was a bit disappointed by the post-credits scene.
Of Captain Marvel?
Yeah. Well, not the
Okay,
post-credits.
this isn't a spoiler,
That
but
was great.
I'm not as excited for Endgame after having watched Captain Marvel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm the same level, you know? Like, it just didn't change.
Okay.
Yeah. As Sung-in, he didn't change either, but he's lost a bunch of his health bar. That is a Tempered Fate, but it's going to be used defensively, and Linderung turns up at the right time. Tal has to be careful. I think that might have been a visual bug. Didn't come out of the brush there, as far as I know. As Jin Air grouping up, Grace going to lose his Banshee's Veil, which is actually a big deal here, and Seeds just taking free damage on the back end. The Olaf really has not worked out since the early game jungle pathing that was very interesting. Didn't really pan out to any advantages. But Jin Air's still in it. They got 5 members in the mid lane, and there is nothing really else going down. Inhibitor gonna fall on the bottom side of the map, but respawns again in another 2.5 minutes. And Hanwha with a whole bunch of pressure topside are looking to convert this into the Baron buff. They do have the vision available. Yeah, Root's gonna come on over. Key takes most of his health bar and will have to reset. And speaking of reset, the Baron once again gonna be going down. Okay, Tal actually keeps it leashed. Bono is around here. C's does have flash. Full health bar there as well, and that is going to mean that Julia and Tal back away. Once again, going to releash.
Look at the minions inside of the main base. Linderong having to do cleanup duty at the Nexus, but
This is one hell of a dance. Nice double tap there with the True Shot Barrage. Unbreakable from Nova. Denies a lot, though. And now Lava can try and come forward for the flank, but the Trouble Bubble is going to land. Grace may have just saved it here, but Hanwha, they're going to use the Tempered Fate and then take down the Baron. They'll lose the LeBlanc, though, so that is a lot of Baron pressure now missing on this Hanwha side.
Jin Air have one last chance back into the game, and that is the Elder Dragon. They do have numbers advantage right now. It is a temporary 5 versus 4. Hanwha Life maybe considering giving it up in exchange for getting the top inhibitor turret, but Seas and Linderong, they're going to 2-min it as Root, Grace, and Nova look to try to hold the base.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether Grace and Root do have quite enough as far as wave clear is concerned to take this one down, but you can see Hanwha, they actually just want to try and take the Elder Drake fight. Hanwha knows that the 3 Drake Elder is going to feel real good, as Tal is going to pick that one up. Julia just sucking on the dragon. Is that what she does? Just like takes its essence or something? Entirely sure. As Root's going to get knocked back, takes so much damage, just taken down. No. Wrong place, wrong time. Jin Air, looks like it's finally over as the Tempered Fate once again going to lock it in. I feel like he really got his eye in towards the end of this series. C's now running the wrong direction. You got a teleport from Linderong to try and desperately hold on to this base. He's actually going to find the Olaf, but C's is probably okay with that. He doesn't have a large health bar. Now the backs are going to try and come in. And Key just going to try and stop them. Oh, right at the end of the Magical Journey. That was really, really nice. Puts down a cup of cocoa, and he's just going to make the Olaf wait around and not get anything done. Linderong, last-ditch effort right now as the Flawless Duet comes in, but can't be enough to stop this. GA is going to get popped, and so are the Nexus turrets. The Nexus should be soon to follow, as Grace is trying to do what he can on his MVP level. Zoe, it's not going to work in game number 1. Nexus goes down, Hanwha victorious.
Emergency landing. You know, that's all that I got to say there for Jin Air.
No, I'm going to call it a refuel. This is a post-takeoff refuel. You know, they've got like a little plane that's come up and said, sorry about this, but you're out of fuel now.
Okay.
But we're still on the way up because we haven't lost the series yet.
Okay.
Series not lost. And we know that Jin Air likes to keep their fans on the edge of their seat, like they did in the previous series against the Afrika Freaks.
Well, in this game, number 1, Hanwha Life, they did take quite a long time to seal the deal right at the end there, especially given that they had such a large advantage with Poke champions inside of their comp. I know that they were playing against a Poke champion in that of Zoe, but Jin Air, they might still be feeling good about that. They held on despite the massive disadvantages, and that doesn't happen in game number 2. Does look like they could potentially take a game here off of Hanwha. It really looked like they were almost going to be able to come back there in game number 1.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were completely outclassed, you know. Maybe in the jungle role, I felt like, you know, Bono tried and failed a few times, but certainly was more impactful than what Bono was able, than what C's was able to do. The Olaf was honestly not doing anything. In the later stages, he was like a roaming smite that actually just took his whole health bar, had to go home and then come back and be a smite to stop them from getting a free Baron. That is like the only thing that C's really did that mattered in the later stages of the game, and you need a little bit more out of your jungle. Vital was a pretty damn big Yorick, so I have a feeling he's not going to get that in game number 2.
Taking a look at the post-game breakdown right here, Ezreal dealing boatloads of damage as the Yorick chasing him. He's up there, 18.1k, but on the flip side for Jin Air, as expected, the Zoe, the only real champion that was doing all that much in this game, as the Aurelia was put super far behind early on.
Yep, and I have a feeling if you've got any questions about who the MVP was for that game, then you obviously weren't watching, because pretty sure Yorick's going to be able to pick that one up. But we are going to have that confirmed during this break, ladies and gentlemen, and when we get back, we're going to have more Jin Air versus Hanwha. Can Jin Air keep the win streak alive by taking them down? Or will Hanwha be able to back up their first game win with a 2-0? We'll have to find out. I have a feeling that Jin Air can do it. I believe. I reckon they're going to find their way back in, figure something out here, because Grace, he's a good Zoe, but we'll have to find out after the break.